Hi there, I'm Katsuma from Let's Speak in English. Today's lesson is Imitation lesson by Emma sensei. Step 1 is listen and read. Have you ever stopped and wondered why things are the way they are? I find it really fascinating how many things we do in our daily life that are just accepted and they are rarely questioned. It's just a done thing. And if you do something differently, something out of the ordinary, it creates confusion and angst or fascination among the people around you. At best, you create minor discomfort, but at worst, you face backlash and you're shunned from your family or your social circle. Messing with what is socially acceptable can be brutal. What is accepted and totally normal here might be at odds with what's acceptable where you are. And that's why it's so fascinating when two sets of social norms clash. It really makes people confused or awkward because technically, in that situation, neither of them is doing anything wrong. They're both doing what's acceptable to them in their culture, and that is totally normal. But the other person is really shocked. I'll give you an example. Here in Australia, it is really common to greet friends with a hug and a kiss. A kiss. Now, it's hilarious when you get introduced to an Brazilian in social context because they go in for a double kiss. And in some countries, it's even a triple kiss. But the real interaction can be so confusing and awkward. It's a meeting of two different social norms. And I mean, how strange is it when you hear a woman ask a man to marry her? Why is that so strange? It's not a done thing. It's not a norm. So it confuses us. If you stop and think for a minute, there are so many of these situations, things that we never question because it's just the way things are. Step 2. Listen and copy. Listen and imitate.
Have you ever stopped and wondered why things are the way they are?
Have you ever stopped and wondered why things are the way they are?
Really fascinating how many things we do in our daily lives that
I find it really fascinating how many things we do in our daily lives that
are just accepted and they're rarely questioned.
are just accepted and they are rarely questioned.
It's just the done thing.
It's just the done thing.
And if you do something differently,
And if you do something differently,
something out of the ordinary,
something out of the ordinary,
it can create confusion
it can create confusion
or angst or frustration among the people around you.
or angst or frustration among the people around you.
At best, you create minor discomfort.
At best, you create minor discomfort.
But at worst, you face backlash
But at worst, you face backlash
and you're shunned from your family or your social circle.
and you're shunned from your family or your social circle.
Messing with what is socially acceptable can be brutal.
Messing with what is socially acceptable can be brutal.
But what's accepted and totally normal here
But what is accepted and totally normal here
might be at odds with what's acceptable where you are.
might be at odds with what's acceptable where you are.
And that's why it's so fascinating when two sets of social norms clash.
And that's why it's so fascinating when two sets of social norms clash.
It really makes people confused or awkward because technically
It really makes people confused or awkward because technically, in that situation,
neither of them is doing anything wrong.
Neither of them is doing anything wrong.
They're both doing what's expected of them in their culture.
They're both doing what's accepted of them in their culture.
And that's totally normal.
And that is totally normal.
The other person is like,
But the other person is like
really shocked.
really shocked.
I'll give you an example.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
Here in Australia, it is really common to greet friends with a hug and a kiss.
Here in Australia, it is really common to greet friends with a hug and a kiss.
A kiss.
A kiss.
Now, it's hilarious when you get introduced to an Italian
Now, it's hilarious when you get introduced to an Italian
or a Brazilian in a social context because
or Brazilian in social context because
they go in for a double kiss.
they go in for a double kiss.
In some countries, it's even a triple kiss.
And in some countries, it's even a triple kiss.
But that little interaction can be so confusing and awkward.
But that little interaction can be so confusing and awkward.
It's the meeting of two different social norms.
It's a meeting of two different social norms.
And
I mean,
how strange is it when you hear a woman ask a man to marry her?
how strange is it when you hear a woman ask a man to marry her?
Why is that so strange?
Why is that so strange?
It's just not the done thing.
It's just not the done thing.
It's not the norm.
It's not norm.
So it confuses us.
So it confuses us.
If you stop and think for a minute,
If you stop and think for a minute,
there are so many of these situations.
there's so many of these situations.
Things that we never question because
Things that we never questioned because
it's just the way things are.
it's just the way things are. Thanks for watching. Today's lesson is too hard. I cannot imitate for teacher. See you next. Bye.